you doing, Quilt Roadies? I hope all is going well with you in your neck of the woods, whether you're heading into planting season or like us, you're putting everything away. We had our irrigation system drained for the winter, and the last week has been like wind, like non-stop, but today it's really nice. It's a scattered clouds with some blue sky, but no rain, no wind, so we're not complaining. I have wrapping up Happy Halloween. Today is Halloween. I am so excited about all the trick-or-treaters. I have my candy all ready. I bought way more candy than I needed to, but then anything left over I'm taking to Acorns and Threads. So if you want some candy, go shop there. What has been going on? This month has been non-stop. It has been the most spectacular birthday month I have had, I can say, ever. It was wonderfully exhausting from beginning to end. It was one creative event, girlfriends, sibling, family, everything happened. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday month. And so now I'm ready to start November. The one big thing that has shaken my quilting world up, well, two big things. As I told you before, when my sister came and was looking through quilts, she took some quilts with her, and they, as I call them, went into the wild. Between that and the program that Leanne, the devoted quilter, started a hashtag whips be gone, for October and November. I don't know, sometimes you tend to get into a rut, and it maybe takes someone else to encourage you or to kick you in the quilting butt. But for whatever reason, I have been on fire. I also started the third One Block Wonder quilt, you know, for my three little peeps that are down in Southern California. And this one is for my cousin Brian's daughter. And he posted a picture of her, and she was dressed up like Jessie. You know, Woody and Jessie. And she was so adorable. That's what the One Block Wonder quilt had to be. It had to be all of those characters. And I've been having a good time piecing that together. But I hope that when you have time, that you will take a moment and look through the comments, because there are not only people who need encouragement in the comments, but there's a lot of love in the comments and a lot of fabulous ideas. And with the One Block Wonder block quilt, it's so fun and so easy, and you aren't like, it's not challenging in the way like if you did a Judy Niemeyer quilt. You know, this is like peaceful piecing. Peaceful piecing. Huh, that's kind of clever. I surprise myself sometimes. But in the comments, there was a suggestion where one person took the One Block Wonder and made a pillow out of it. It never even occurred to me. And it's such a great idea because I always cut way more fabric than the quilt needs. So then I can like do all kinds of fun things. And another person made placemats. We are a placemat person family. We use placemats at the table, and most of the placemats that we use are ones that I've made. I fell in love with the easiness of a card pattern that I got from the Stitching Post that Valerie Wells had designed. And so I keep a photocopy of it in my phone, so if I'm ever at a quilt shop and I see a fabric, I think I want placemats out of that, that I can see exactly how much I need. And that's, and it allows you to taste fabric, because yes, quilters need to taste fabric. Sometimes my friend Lori and we are hooked, or have been hooked in the past, on the 5-inch charm squares because it allows you to taste a whole line of fabric without buying the whole line. Because not every line, if we bought every line, we would need to live in a castle or live in the shed while our fabric lived in the castle. So when I can't decide, when she and I couldn't decide, what pieces, what yardage, we'd buy the charm pack, because there are so many patterns out there that use 5-inch square charm packs. And this One Block Wonder Quilt is a really easy way to scrap quilt something. Although, in my case, I actually theme quilted them, and this is the third one. Yeah, and if there's just so much, and everybody's at market right now. Everybody in the know who is a designer and fabric company and all the accoutrements to quilting is at market. So much fun, so much fun. And I cannot tell you how wonderful it was on Instagram to see Stacy West, Buttermilk Basin, daughter, designed her first line of fabric. I mean, as a mother, you have got to be like, oh wow, that so much pride and admiration. And as parents, those moments are far and few between sometimes. So when you get one, you go, Stacy. That's I would ride on that for a long time. So a lot of new things are going to be coming down the pike after the Houston quilt market. And let's see, I've got the whale all quilted and done. It's going into the wild. And I also quilted, I know I told you I was on fire. I also quilted my wall hanging for my laundry room. And these were blocks that were gifted to me, embroidery blocks that are so cute, so cute. Baking Day, Iron Day, and then I just designed the pattern. There was no pattern. I just figured out how to put it together and decided that all I was going to do was stitch in the ditch and tack it down, because the fabrics, I mean, they were just perfect by themselves. And then I found this really cute plaid red for the binding. So I just have to tack this down, and then we'll hang it in the laundry room. Yeah. Sometimes, for me, when I get on a roll, I've got to grab that roll, whether it's a bread roll or a cinnamon roll. I got to grab it and ride it all the way to the end, because I know that I'm going to suddenly be at a point where I need to stop. So while I am on this roll, I decided I'm going to quilt a couple of other things and get them ready. Because, some people say, Are you a topper or not? You know, and if you're not familiar with that terminology, there are a lot of people who just like to do the top. They just make the top, you know, kind of like in cross stitch, whether you're a process stitcher or you actually want to do something with it. I can't say that I'm a topper. I always have the dream of getting it done. Oh, look at this. This is the perfect cup. My friend Cheryl. Yeah. Time to focus, hocus pocus. Yeah. So cute. So I picked out of the pile of tops that I have done 2 more things to quilt. So here's the next 2, because we are definitely going to be participating in November, hashtag Whips Be Gone 2023. And this is a table runner. And I honestly can't tell you, I wish I could, because a lot of this stuff has been done for a while, who the designer is. I know that I got this from a quilt shop that's closed, and it was a beautiful quilt shop. Oh, it was in West Lynn, Holly Hills, and was one of those bucket list shops. But as with many things in life, things change, and the shop closed. But before they closed, I spent some money there. So this is a table runner. And I just thought, you know, I need to quilt some of these things because they'd make wonderful gifts. Isn't that cute? I really love the fabric. The kind of old-fashioned fabrics. And then this is the other one that I'm going to quilt. This is could be a table topper or a wall hanging. Can't tell you what the pattern name is. I do not have it anymore. But, yeah, very cute. So those are the next 2 that I'm going to be quilting. I'm feeling the need for something new, and I've been talking to Kate at the Fat Quarter Shop, so that something new might be coming down the line. We shall see. I do have a family member who's a senior in high school, and next year will be leaving the nest for college. And so I feel this desire to contribute to his launching into life with a quilt. Yeah. One must have a bit of home, don't you think? So I have that in the back of my mind. I saw Kathy Schmidt. She just keeps on designing. And someone in the comments asked me about my little houses. Yeah, I know. Oh, I felt like I started to whine. Yeah, oh well. Let's take a drink of coffee. I had my MRI today. It's it's kind of funny. If you've never had an MRI, it's quite an experience. They put earplugs in your ears because it's very noisy. You lay on a table. They've got your head in a vise. They put headphones on because it's really noisy. And they ask you what kind of music you want. I chose Amy Mann because G turned me on to her music and I really like it. And then they lay you back and have that contraption in a vise. And when you look up, you see beautiful scenery. The noise, you have to have the earplugs and the headphones because the noise is huge. And it sounds like you're in outer space. It's this clunk, 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 and then the tone changes, and then something else happens, and you can't fall asleep. They don't want you to sleep. You can't cough. You can't laugh. You can't move. And when someone tells you all that stuff, that's exactly what you want to do. So I had to really concentrate in being present and enjoying the music. But it's all done now. I get the results in a week, and then I don't have to do it again for another year or two. We shall see. Yeah. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and I told my doctor that she's my favorite doctor. You got to kiss up to your doctor. And she said I was her favorite patient, because you got to kiss up to your patient. And she said, because you do what I tell you. Yeah, I love her. I love her. I told her she can't retire anytime soon. She said maybe 6 years. Who knows if I'll still be here in 6 years. You just don't know these days, do you? While I was at the beach, did I tell you I was at the beach? October was a fabulous month. At the beach with OB girlfriends. Not Obi-Wan Kenobi, but OB is an obstetrics. We worked together over 20 years ago, but there's a connection that occurs. It reminded me, the connection is something that I observed when my oldest son got married. Half the guest list was made up of paramedics, firemen, and nurses. They're like a tight family. It's like when you have bonded in stress, it's like the military. You're forever connected in a way that you can't connect to other people. It's different. So this group of women I worked with over 20 years ago, and yet when we're together, because it was at a time when we were all raising our children and working and trying to be great, because we're the generation trying to be great mothers, great employees, great wives, great citizens. We were all supposed to be great at everything, and it was very challenging. There was a bond that it was beautiful to observe. It was beautiful to observe because some of these people I had not seen in years, absolute years. But because it was at that time, you can't break that. You can't break that. So I took all the stitching with me because I thought I was going to have this relaxing time at the beach to stitch, and I barely stitched at all. I was just enjoying everything about it's like sometimes one has to stop and get off the train and look at your past, because it might give you some information or some help in how to get back on the train and keep going. I'm just saying that. So all that I stitched, I mean truly, we were there for 3 days, a little over 3 days, and the only thing I stitched was I did a little more stitching on this Sewing the Good Life, which I'm here to tell you, that's all I could handle was a back stitch on a pre-printed canvas. And if there's one project you should always have in your repertoire, it's something from Sewing the Good Life, because there's no stress that comes with it. It's going to be the one project that doesn't require one fraction of a decision. You just sit and do it. And so that's what I worked on. But one day one of the gals actually lives in the community where we rented the house, and so she carpooled a handful of us to the Latimer Textile and Quilt Center. And a couple videos back, I did a video walkthrough of the quilt shop in Tillamook, but I didn't have time to go to the Latimer Textile and Quilt. I'm so happy I didn't have time, because it's something that can't be rushed through. You want to really enjoy it. And so she took a handful of us that were interested in going there, and it was awesome. It was just awesome. I didn't have the video camera with me, but I took a few snippets on my phone. I don't know if G's going to be able to upload those from my phone. The day we went, there was a whole group working on fiber arts, weaving, spinning, knitting, and there's something beautiful about seeing a group of people who come together and are there for common reason, who are from all different walks, all different little towns, and the weaving was so beautiful. There were quilts hanging all over, and there was a lot of things for sale, you know, handmade things, so I did enjoy a little bit of retail therapy there. But the weaving was, it brought back such great memories, because my father-in-law was a weaver. Well, he was a Renaissance man. I mean, I so admired him. He did a lot of different things, and so I can see in G that bit of enjoying different things, and when they mirror that, I see that same thing in both of my sons, that they are creative and dabble in different things that they enjoy. And we have to have that to survive in the world that we're in. You have to have a safe place where your heart and your brain can be creative. It sparks something in you. And so when I saw these people weaving, it just brought such warm memories back of my father-in-law, who he would go out east in the desert and get fleece, wool from the sheep partners, and then he'd get plants in the high desert and dye that wool naturally, and then he would card it. I'm not sure about all the terms, but I think it's called carding, and then spinning on a spinning wheel and making a ball of yarn that he would use in his weaving. And he won, we have many ribbons that he won at the county fair, because he was so creative with that weaving. And when he had cancer and was more bedridden, he taught himself to crochet. So we have a lot of crocheted blankets. Yeah, it's it was a wonderful experience, and allowed me to relive a little bit of my early history, my early young married history. And when I look at G and he's cooking, I sometimes know that his father is proud of him, because his father went and bought a Basque stove. You know, the Basque sheep herders, they had these cast iron stoves that were on the back of the wagons, and when they'd go out and camp way out in the desert, sheep herding and stuff. And so he bought one of those and put it on his deck in Sisters, and he'd actually use it. He would make jam chili. He won a ribbon for his chili. G makes really good chili. So it's wonderful to see that, to be in that textile and quilt center was absolutely wonderful. And I ended up buying a weaving that was so beautiful, and the weaver was there, and she was just so lovely. It's kind of nice when you get to meet the creator. It's kind of nice. So that was a wonderful experience. And then coming home, I drove all by myself, which I don't know about you, but I'm not much of a driver. I love being a passenger. But I drove back, but I got really, really tired. So I stopped at Acorns and Threads and had lunch with Janine and Jennifer, my friend, and then made my way 25 more minutes home. And it has been lovely because all I've been doing is piecing, planning, all the wonderful things. What a gift it is to love a craft that brings so much joy to other people. It's really lovely. It's really lovely. So what have I been reading? My mind is being blown by The Body Keeps the Score. It is being blown by that. There's so much to that book. And it is a book that I would say everyone should read, because you're either, in this world, you're either a survivor, you're in relationship with a survivor, you want to help your own children, you want to reconcile your past, you want to know where you're going. And that book is mind-blowing. As far as what I've been watching, I can't even begin to tell you what I've been watching. It's the weirdest thing, but it's so Halloween, I guess. I'm not a scary movie watcher or TV watcher. Like, I don't watch those. I don't watch anything where something's jumping out at me. I don't like it. I mean, the last Stephen King book I read was Pet Sematary, and it freaked me out, and I kind of was done. But I was kind of flipping through the channels, and on the Sci-Fi Channel was this whole season on the guide, you know, the games, and it was called A Wolf Like Me. Have you heard of it? I'd never heard of it. And I'm like, what is that? And so then I clicked on it because it had just started, and you got to see the whole season. And I thought, this is weird. I don't know, I'm not going to watch this. So I changed the channel, and I Googled what it was about, and then that was so intriguing that I went back and started watching it. And then G, who normally doesn't, he's sitting next to me, but he's usually on his laptop looking at maps or looking at woodworking videos or something while I'm watching TV and stitching. He started watching it, and I realized that the reason they had the whole season was because there was a season 2, and it started in October. It's about a woman who's a werewolf. Now, this would not normally appeal to me, but the show was more than just that. It was about relationships, about human existence, pain, love, raising a child, loss. It was almost beautiful, but it was about a werewolf. And I thought, well, it is, after all, Halloween season, so maybe I'll just stick with it. Well, I did enjoy it. I watched the whole first seasons. They're like half-hour shows set in Australia. And heck, there was nothing else on television. I mean, television right now is very challenging for me. So all I'm watching is reruns because I can't do the reality show because that doesn't even exist. There's nothing real about any of them. I am no news. No, I mean, there just isn't a whole lot. So I would say give it a chance. You don't have to watch the whole season. Each show's only like 30 minutes, so it's not like a huge investment. And I would like to know what you think about that, because I was shocked. I was shocked. Yeah. Well, I'm all ready to pass the candy. How about you? I've got a ton of candy. So you guys all have a great, safe Halloween, and we'll see you the next time. I hope your world is tilted on the side of humanity and love. See you next time. Love you guys.